We need to start taking notes.
Hey, yo. Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Kinflow Podcast. Yeah. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Yeah. Keep your head up. Hey. Keep your head up. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Yeah. Every day when I awaken, ask God give me strength for the day that I be facing. Yeah, cause we all trying to make it there. Life is hard, we keep pushing on the real, we don't fear. Because we gotta keep God first, while overcoming the obstacles, putting the truth first. And it still hurts, but it gets worse if we decide not to speak while we on this earth. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate, we here to give you game, we here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Keep your head up, keep your head up. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate, we here to give you game, we here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Keep your head up, keep your head up, yeah.
And all that other shit is to control you. If the churches took half the money that they was making and gave it back to the community, we'd be alright. If they take half the buildings that they use to praise God and gave it to motherfuckers who need God, we'd be alright. We'd be alright. Have you seen some of these goddamn churches lately? It's ones that take up the whole block in New York. It's homeless people out here. Why ain't God letting them stay there? Why these niggas got gold ceilings and shit? Why God need gold ceilings to talk to me? Why do God need colored windows to talk to me? Why God can't come where I'm at, where he sent me? If God wanted to talk to me in a pretty spot like that, why the hell he sent me here then? You know what I mean? That make ghetto kids not believe in God. Why? So that's a wrong religion. I believe in God. I believe God put us wherever we want to be at. Then it makes sense that God will put us in the ghetto. That means he wants us to work hard to get up out of here. That means he's testing us even more. That makes sense. It makes sense that if you're good in your heart, then you closer to God. But if you're evil, then you're close to the devil. That makes sense. I see that every day. All that other spooky shit don't make sense.
Welcome to the Kinflow Podcast. I'm your host, Big Pound. Got my brother, my cousin in the building, Busy B.
BB. Not bad. Busy B in the house. Welcome, everybody.
Man, seriously, that's what we doing today. We at CC's at the same time. Okay, cool. Yeah.
My bad. My bad.
I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. We recording this the day after. Hope everybody's staying safe. Not drinking too much. If you're drinking too much, I hope you got a designated driver. Yeah.
Right on.
Shout out to, all the families out there that's keeping it positive and, you know what I'm saying? Just being together and loving each other. What's up, fam? What we getting into today?
And what we getting into for our audience and everything, man, we're gonna freestyle at this today. We're gonna freestyle, and the reason being, it's so much going on. It's so much to talk about, and you could pick and choose whatever you want to pick and choose on. Thing is, this is our freestyle day, right after holidays. We're gonna talk on just a little bit of everything. I want to talk on some sports. I want to talk about some politics. I want to talk about just current events across the world. Just speaking on family, just all these things. Let's just, talk upon all of it. We're going to freestyle today. We're going to see how good our freestyle is. Yeah, we're going to Kinflow it today. Hey, that's perfect right there.
Yeah, we're going to Kinflow.
That's perfect.
Flow like water, man. Let's start with the, the past debate that we saw, right? Joe Biden, Donald Trump happened on June 27th. Did you get a chance to watch that debate, sir?
Yes, I did. I watched it. Uh, it
And
was
what you think?
entertaining.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
Oh, well, let
Yeah.
me ask you this. When you sat down to watch it, because you got different people watching it for different reasons. Some people want to hear what the president or maybe the former president to be president again, what's their policies? Was you listening for that, or was you just sitting down knowing that this is going to be pretty entertaining? What kind of perspective did you sit down to watch it from, and what was you expecting from it before you sat down to watch it?
Well, my expectations was just hey, I'm looking to be entertained because I know I'm about to hear how you gonna run from the matters, how you gonna try to dress up the lie, and how you going to come with a fake truth. That's what I was expecting, and all those boxes was checked. To be honest, straight up, I didn't have no other expectations than that. I wasn't expecting to hear how they're gonna change this policy or do this or do that. I just wanted to see how they were going to respond to each other when it comes to the questions that they had and how they would have their rebuttals to the questions and things like that. Because Joe Biden, at his age and how he's responding, it just kind of showed at some point you're going to expose yourself a whole lot more than you really want to. I mean, he stood in the pocket, but if there was a boxing ring, that looked like Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. And big ups to my boy Earl.
Hold on, man. What is going on right now?
Big ups to my boy Earl because I rock with him. I like Earl. I love him, man. I like how he fight and everything. But if you was to say Trump was Crawford and Biden was Earl, yeah, you know the outcome. You look like Martin coming out from fighting Tommy Hearns. So it was terrible, man. Not that I'm in favor of Biden, because the thing is, or Trump, the thing is, I'm so into how conversations go and how a person use their dialect to speak or to control what they're trying to do in their own narrative and use the words that they use. So I pay attention to that. Right. And, seeing how someone might try to backpedal a little bit or try to deflect, and, that's what I'm paying attention to. And when the glitches come, and then you get back into it. That's what I was watching it, just for that kind of entertainment. And I got it because, they can say all the things that they're going to do or what they have done or have not done. At the end of the day, I just know it's still a lot of shootings in Chicago. It's still a lot of people not working. There's still a lot of homeless people. Everything has been magnified in the perspective of how people talk, what they want to see happen, and the things that's not happening. It seems like it's been magnified to where it's a lot of negative than it is positive going forward with how the world is or the nation is. So, it's just an entertaining debate.
Me, same reason. I knew it was going to be entertaining because Trump is a interesting person, to say the least. But I did want to hear how some of these problems are going to get solved. And to me, Biden in the debate pretty much acted like he was the president of a whole totally different nation by acting like nothing is wrong. We got over 15, 20 million undocumented people over here that's coming, that flooded the borders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crime is on the uptick. Police officers in New York getting shot at. Crime is
Right.
up, not just in Chicago. Crime is up everywhere.
True that. A lot of shootings now.
A lot of shootings, a lot of unsolved shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Really, they didn't really talk about many specific policies, Medicaid and Medicare. They kind of brushed against it, but I didn't really hear any concrete plans. What I can say is, if that was my grandma or your grandma or grandpa up there, they would say that he's unfit to be working at this company. We could take the being president out of it, but just even working a regular job, they would not hire a person that was acting in that manner. Now, Trump was full of life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could see the contrast. He's full of life. He got pep in his step. He got a
Yeah,
lot
he
of, and
doing
he
his thing.
got a lot of energy. While on the other side, you know, it's like you can't even understand what he's saying, but it's basically let the American people see that we got somebody driving a car in the dark with the headlights off.
Yeah, pretty much. Because even Stevie Wonder could hear and see that situation that was going on.
And
That was bad.
but yeah, I agree. It was entertaining, just to see. But man, it made me worry, bro, because you still, even after aftermath of the debate, you got people that still think he's okay to run this country, and they still vouching for him, and everybody trying to sweep it up under the rug like we good. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah,
Which
oh, go ahead. My bad.
which again, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm rooting for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Well,
Trump needs to be in there. And if
well,
you want to elaborate on that, I get into that. But I don't like Joe Biden. I don't
mm-hmm.
I don't like his policies when it comes to black people in America. I know he got his ways of coloring the color book to make it seem like that he's all for this or that, but he's not. You can just do your own research and you can go look at all of the policies. Basically, it's right in your face.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask this: when it because he's the face of the Democratic Party just as well as Trump is the face of the Republican Party. So when someone says, "Oh, I don't like Trump," a lot of times those comments can be as for the person or the individual and not the party itself. Because when you ask, well, who do you go for or who are you voting on? Typically, in a conversation, the person is going to say, uh, the president's the president at the time or the one that's running. Now, in this, just like you say, you don't like Biden. So you're saying as well, and I'm just trying to get bring up a different perspective on how people be looking at how they choose the person or the party itself. So the Democratic Party, which is in the background running things, while the president stands before that party to represent them as the voice of what they are. Biden right now is not really showing face like that. It's like two dogs in a race, and one of them has three legs, one has four. Nobody's wanting that three-legged dog in the race unless it's doing something exceptional. And right now, this dog's sleeping and dribbling, and not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So the Democratic Party, their policies in comparison to the Republican Party, what do you feel is the difference in where there's a pro and a con to it? It's when you compare the parties. Because if Democratic, and I'm gonna say this part, Democratic Party could have multiple things that is in favor of the people in comparison to the Republican Party, but then who's representing that the Democratic side as far as Biden, it don't appear to be that. So, in your thoughts, how do you feel about which party is doing what the most?
Well, I use this example, and I'm not trying to bring up racism. I'm just using it as an example far as the policies of Republicans and Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
I like my races out in the open. I don't. I want my races to have the Nazi tattoos, whatever they feel. I want them to wear that shit with pride, so I
Mm-hmm.
can know who I'm dealing with. So in this example, the Republicans are the out in the open races. As the example, if you feel
Mm-hmm.
the,
Right, right. I
the
got you.
Democrats are the undercover in the closet races.
Mm-hmm.
So to go back to your question, I like the Republicans because you know what it is. They don't,
Yeah.
you know, the Democrats try to paint the Republicans as evil. They all about money. But the Democrats over the years, and we might need to do a follow-up show so we can pull up the receipts when we're talking about these things. But if
Mm-hmm.
you go back and look at all the policies, it's always some underhanded things. They got the Asians got a hate crime bill passed, right? The Asians
And
got a
that,
hate. The
who
Asians got
passed? What party passed that?
Joe Biden.
Okay, Democratic Party.
Uh, he designed the crime bill in the 90s that broke up a lot of black families, that took the man out the household
Mm-hmm.
forever when he was in the Senate or whatever. You fast forward to now, he's now letting millions and millions of illegal immigrants into the country, which is undermining black people because we know we live in a hierarchy type of structure in America. We all know what it is when it comes to jobs, and we all see who's getting the jobs.
Well, you do know we have black jobs, white jobs, Hispanic jobs.
Well, from what Trump said,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
said that
we have all these jobs.
they tried to make it like he was being silly, but it was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of truth to what he said. So we can't overlook that. They put LGBTQ issues
Jobs.
in front of black people. Um, if you just go do a little bit of research about the policies, you can line up what I'm saying because I'm kind of flying off the top of my head because I've been paying attention to this stuff so long. So now it's
Mm-hmm.
comical. At
Mm-hmm.
one time, I was disappointed in Trump, but one thing about Trump, he gonna put America first, and he gonna stand top dog for his country. He's not gonna get bullied by no other country. He's gonna put business first and make sure America win in business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what any American, that's all you can really ask for. All the other stuff we can work out on our own. But when you got a president that's undermining my people, the people that's affected the most, I can't roll with it. It doesn't really matter if it's Republican or Democrat. I just know the man that's leading this thing, that's done a lot of disparaging stuff to keep people that look like me in a position of being damn near at the bottom, if not the bottom. Now we
Mm-hmm.
do have successful black people. That ain't what I'm saying. It's a lot of people that's out there thriving, but more than not are not thriving. And that shit is by design. So
So
that's
you're
my take.
saying, so
That's
you're
my
saying
take.
the masses of the community, the black community, is still under a bondage because of how things have been set up way back when, and that effect is still apparent and effective, to where yes, there are going to be those that excel, but at the same time, to keep the masses under control, there are things that's just already set up to not have us succeed, but to fail, or to stay under a mindset to where we don't see success, as in getting rid of the handout that's put there in front of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I give you an example. People who work, whether your salary is right at the poverty line, I think it's $28,000 a year, $26,000 a year. People who try to work and provide for their families get penalized when it comes to social services because you're not all the way lazy. They say you make too much money to get any help, when we know that making $28,000 is nothing, right? We can both agree that that's barely nothing, but people out there trying. But what I come to find out, they want people to be all the way lazy and not do nothing, and then they will help you all day long. So if that's the case, then you need to just get rid of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And we
I
just get.
think that's.
But when you hear about all these, and I know it's an individual state thing, but if you look in a lot of these cities, these are blue cities, which is blue is Democrat, correct? They're giving out $1,000 debit cards to people that's not even citizens of this nation. I don't hate anyone, but I don't want them to kill me so you can live, when I'm the one who come from the lineage of people fighting and dying for this soil that we call America.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the Republican Party aligns with, even though it's the same bird, two different wings, I can deal with this Republican sector because I know what it is more than this smoke and mirror sector of the Democratic Party. And it's always been like that. It's always like the last good president to me in the Democratic Party was Bill Clinton. Everybody had a little paper. Everybody was thriving. It was jobs. And I know that's a whole nother issue too, but it's just a lot of trickery with the Democratic Party, man.
Yeah,
Everybody,
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to. Oh, go ahead, finish your thought.
I'm saying everybody is getting their needs taken care of, but Black Americans. I'm just gonna simply say it like that. Everybody is getting, people that's not even from here is getting treated better than the people that built this country. And that's really what I have a problem with. I heard it come out of Trump's mouth several times that when he's talking to like Black leaders at HBCUs, and he could be pandering or not, right? He could be pandering, but it don't matter if you pandering because it's on record. He's even said it's a damn shame what they done to Black Americans in this country when y'all the ones that built it. Ever since I heard that, like I said, go back to the beginning and then I'll let you go because I'm being a little long-winded. You can't, again, I like my races out in the open. I can have more respect for you if you just say, man, I don't like y'all Black guys. I think y'all eat too much chicken and watermelon, and I think y'all drink too much grape soda. I can have more respect for that than somebody saying, oh man, I love you. But then in the background is I hate them niggers. You know, I hate, you know what I'm saying? I like people. I want the honesty part of it, period. Yeah. And I think when it comes to these two candidates, I think Trump is the more honest person. So that's my reasoning when I say I'd rather Trump be in office. Because I remember when Trump was president in 2016, everything was good, making money, had a business. You could tell the difference. You could tell the do he say crazy things out his mouth? Of course he does. But at least you know what he's thinking. At least he ain't saying it behind closed doors.
At least he gives an appearance of transparency.
There was no wars. He was a good negotiator. Now what we got far as wars? You've been in the military all them years. That's all you hearing about is how different nations are maneuvering and aligning with each other, and the tension seems to be getting worse and worse. So I take all of those things into account. Don't, and I'm telling you, anybody listening, don't comment saying nothing nasty. I don't care. You got your opinion. I got mine. This ain't MSNBC. This is just one man with opinion, one vote. Just like my cousin got one vote and like you got one vote. So you allowed to feel how you feel, and I'm going to feel how I feel. And I'm not going back and forth about it. You can leave a comment. If it's halfway intelligent, we'll leave it up. If you say something disrespectful, we just going to block you, and I'm never going to go back and forth with you. There you go.
Well, with all that being said, I want to get your perspective on it and everything. And so this is what I get from what it is that you just said, and what I hear a lot of times. And when we refer to what our community, our people don't get, because from the outside looking in, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people that consider or think that no, y'all got the same opportunities as we have them, and you have many successful people out there. You just got to do the same thing they did, get on the grind, and so on and so forth. But the part is not being talked about is the part that's not being seen, and that's the psychological setup in the very beginning as to why we're in the situation we're in. And all we're saying is, as a Black culture, is free us of that and allow us to get just like y'all got. And that means that psychological setup that you did way back in the 60s, going into the 70s and 80s to manipulate and keep us under a certain mentality, change the playing field to where we were already trying to fight for rights. So you have to understand that in its totality. When you even hear someone Black saying, we're being mistreated, we don't have the same rights as everybody else, we're the ones that really put this country where it's at, and we've been taken advantage of. And those things, it's hard to see or to understand, especially if you're someone that's of the newer generation, don't get to see how that psychological play happen. You're seeing the results at the end, and now you're under this false understanding. Hey, you got the same opportunity as me. Yeah, okay. Well, if you say entitlement, or those that feel they're entitled for whatever, and this could be any race, anybody can feel entitled. The thing about it is this: if you do feel entitled, just think about that. You feel entitled because of things that have been put in place for you to have an understanding that you're supposed to have it that way. Now, think about the Black culture. At what point would they ever feel entitled? Just because it's appeared that we've come along and we've advanced and we got this policy and that policy. We want to feel just as entitled as anyone else. Meaning, let's make it equal all the way across the board, where everybody can have the same things. Why would the policies that we push for take so long to be addressed when other ethnicities can push for policies And what I'm referring to is that whole Asian hate crime bill, how that was just
Didn't
okay,
take no time.
didn't take no time, but we still have policies of hate crime and everything going on. And the bad thing about what we try to push to go forward, the counter to that is, well, look how y'all act. You know, we're gonna take accountability for what it is that we do. I'm not gonna sit here and try to speak for the people in that stand in that instance of, oh, we just act this way because of such and such. Then we've been done this way, and this we just ignorant and all this kind of stuff. No, I'm not
Right.
gonna speak like that,
Right.
because the thing is, we'll be accountable for what it is that we do and take action for the things that we've done. So yes, it's a lot of ignorance that's running amok right now amongst our community when we're, killing each other behind things that don't even matter just because we're in our feelings. Because at the end of the day, you take a life just because someone said you're ugly, you live funny, or you have this, you don't have that. That's ridiculous. What did you gain from it as a black people, as the black community? What are you gaining from doing that to ourselves, to each other? So the whole thing is what I get. That's the part that's not being seen because you can't see it. It's something that people are reacting to and responding to, and developing a certain opinion, thought, or frustration, confusion, things of this nature. And we don't catch on to it because we've been conditioned. So we conditioned to be a certain way. Of course, you're going to see the kind of things that you might try to use to say, well, we're not going to pass this or do that because of what we see you doing. When you, in turn, and when I say you, those that are not in the black community, but those that have the power over the people and choose what the people get to use, eat, those people, the top tier, that
Right.
1%,
Yeah.
try to make it as though, oh, we're going to use that to leverage how we move on you anyway. So you've already set it up. Now you're making it do what you want it to do. You see the results behind it. And yet, as an outcry in the black community wanting to have things changed, that is still falling over our heads. So at the end of the day, just as you're saying, yeah, it'd be a whole lot better to know who you really dealing with and them being transparent, as opposed to some a group saying things to you to just manipulate you into thinking that, yes, the $1,000 debit card is really something that you can benefit from. The phone, when you can't afford a phone, hey, get this government assistance. Keeping a thumb on you or a knee in your stomach, not on your neck, but on your stomach, because you let up on it a little bit, you get that breath and you keep going. And that's where we stand, and that's where we're at in that whole totality. So yeah, we have millionaires and billionaires that are black. How come those billionaires and millionaires aren't in support of raising up the community? You know, how once you obtain that kind of status, who are you dealing with at those levels that still tell you how much you can say or do when it comes to helping your people? I wonder about that. It's a lot of powerful black people. I ain't gonna even say powerful black people. There's a lot of black people that have money that appears to be powerful. But if they're so powerful with the money that they have, how come they're not bringing a solution to this situation that the black community is in? Yeah, we can get schools in Africa and things of that nature, but is that a write-off? Is that just a way to take care of your taxes? Or is it something more to it? Because it should be building more and more each time. Where's the communities at where we're really putting money back into what we make? No, we're about entertainment, and then we're not about entertainment, but we've been marketed as an entertaining commodity because a lot of us that perform in the sports world and all those the music world, a lot of money coming from that, and it's going in the pockets of others, not ours.
I agree.
That's all I got to say on that, and let's move on to
You
another
want to
topic.
move on?
Yeah, I want to move on because there's so many things to talk about. We could talk on this on so many levels, not to take away from what we even talking about because it's a good topic to talk on. But I just want we only have so much time that we can spend today, and I want to just touch on
Yeah, because
multiple things. It's a lot to be said. Now, I'll give the floor to you to end on what you have to say.
I agree with what you said. It's always been deeper than the president and who's running the country because you got a governor of each state, you got local officials in each city, and yeah, man, I just think really overall to end it, uh, we as grown folks and even young folks that might listen to this, you just even if politics ain't your thing, start taking baby steps to kind of keep abreast to what's going on because before you know it, you will care about tax rates. You will care about policies. And the earlier that you get involved, the more informed you can be because you can see the patterns of how these election cycles work every 4 years, every 2 years, depending on what election is going on. So just to end with that, I would say just start taking baby steps and paying attention to what's going on around you with these elected officials, including the president.
I know.
Um, so where do we go from here?
Let's go into community. Since we since I brought up that about how our community is and everything, just heard recently, if you just look at what's happening in the community, let's talk about how we celebrate. Why is it that when we are celebrating the holidays, apparently from how it is in the news, it's always this mass shooting narrative. We have this narrative of just anytime a party goes on, it's somebody about to go down. Somebody's about to, kids are getting shot. That's all I've been getting on my news feeds, and it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. To This is the only kind of narrative that's out there for us to look at and think that this is just how it is. And I'm here to say this is not how it is and how it has always been. So let's go into the community a little bit.
Well,
And what do you think on that? What do you think about that?
well, first of all, mass shootings is something that they throw out there to put another face on it. Because again, when you get alcohol, you get a bunch of people, certain people are strapped up, certain people got tension with each other. You can go back to the 80s, you can go back to the 90s. Alcohol, tension don't never mix. It never mix. You throw some vodka in there, you throw some brown in there, you throw a couple rival people that don't like each other in there. Used to, it most of the time it would be fights, but now in today's climate, nobody's fighting anymore. It's we gonna go straight to the guns because I know I can't whoop him, and I'm just gonna shoot this mud up. I'm just gonna shoot it up, and I don't care because I'm drunk or I'm high and I'm both. So, um, me personally, I try to keep my family out of those situations unless I'm going to another family's gathering. I wouldn't go to a public venue gathering to save my life because I know what it is out there. It has to be really structured for me to put my people in them type of situations, because I know what happens when this side is drinking, that side is drinking. You look the long way. Y'all might be attached to the same female, or it could be anything. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man, that's just crazy, street ish. That's brung to a gathering, and when the person that's writing the article, they deliberately put mass shooting in because it lumps it all together. Now, when you got somebody like what happened in Arkansas a couple of weeks ago, we talked about it, that just goes up to a grocery store and just starts letting off rounds into a grocery store full of innocent people. That's what we call a mass shooting, because it was already predestined to that. That's what was going to happen. So, to me, when it comes to the community, I wouldn't get fooled by the mass shooting that they put in these articles all the time, as we talked about before, because even with the news articles, there's a shaping of narratives that they're trying to push.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really be diligent and go read for yourself to see what the circumstances was. I don't call a mass shooting when you got, again, you got the street element at a gathering with kids, and then you got family there, but then you got the tension, you got the alcohol, you got the highness, and then you got the middle piece to whatever the problem is, which most of the time is a female, right? Or something somebody said
Mm-hmm.
that
Yep.
they've been waiting to see the other person, or whatnot. But I just think when it comes to community, man, a lot of times the respect aspect of everything is gone, because I always thought the women and children were supposed to be uno nuno. That's supposed to be number one. We don't hurt, even on the street level. We don't hurt women and kids under no circumstances.
You know what I think about that? When you say the women and children,
Mm-hmm.
that part of that push of the independent woman has come to a degree of almost trying to challenge the manhood of men, to where you're making it, you're giving appearance that you want to be on the same platform as a man, and so now that man puts you mentally in a thought process where, oh, you trying to challenge me like a man,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna handle you like a man and not have a second thought about it. And on the man side, the mentality of having respect for the woman, like what you're talking about, has
Mm-hmm.
degraded. It has degraded so much. It is just declined to where um, young men don't look at women like that because of these opposing forces that is breaking down the what has been built up in the understanding of how you treat one another.
Right.
So I can see why it's happening like that. And to give an example of what that looks like as to how I could get to this point, and this is just my observation, I could be wrong about this, but this is how I feel about it. I was going to the grocery store yesterday, and this lady is with her grandson. Now, the grandmother was probably about 4'11", grandson about 6'1". We go into the store. There's no shopping baskets, so they go back out. Just as myself go back out, we see some that's in the parking lot and walking over there to them. And the grandson stops at the door and just gets on his phone while the grandmother goes and gets the shopping cart. And I go over to her and I said, "Excuse me, uh, is that your grandson?" And she's like, "Yes." I said, "Shouldn't he? Why won't he come over here and get the shopping cart for you?" And she turned around, and looked at me, and said, "I'm independent." This is the grandmother.
Mm.
She said, "I'm independent. I can do it myself." I said, I get it, but just hear me out. Understand this. At least you can show him what it looks like to treat a woman. You independent, so now you're taking away from the things that he needs to be seeing going forth. And she's like, well, that's that new generation. They don't do that. And with that being said, I I said, what's his name? I asked for his name and everything. She told me. I called out his name. He looked up, and I waved him over to come here. And when he came over, I was like, help your grandmother out. Get the basket. Be a gentleman about it. And you know what he said to me?
What?
She's independent. She's independent.
Mm.
That's just her. So basically, it was like, okay, he understood that, yeah, she wants to be independent and just do things for herself. But the part that I was trying to bring to her attention is that's great that you're independent and everything.
Right.
But as you are the elder, you're the grandmother, it doesn't take away from what you should be trying to teach your grandson, the things that, as you say, that's that new generation. Well, don't adapt to how things are. Stand on what it is that you saw that was good for you, and teach these kids something that will be good for them without just adapting to that mentality. Because as we continue to adapt to their mentality, the things that you see, the less and less that you get to enjoy from what was back in the day, because you're allowing the recklessness to continue that's being built up behind this mentality of, oh, I'm independent. Okay, you're independent. Oh, so nobody needs nobody. Nobody is going to be in a capacity of wanting to support one another. And it takes away from that element of just that. So
Yeah, I agree,
don't.
man. I agree. Not just that. I mean, I kind of get uh from the grandmother's perspective, when a person gets a little bit older like that, they kind of want to show that they still can be mobile and still move around.
Mm-hmm.
But I also agree with you that the teachers need to at least be installed at the same time as you showing your independence, so they can know what it looked like. Like I said before, man, I told my son one time his mama came in the house from the grocery store and she had all the bags. I said, bro, if you ever let your mama carry all them bags again, I'm going in your mouth, bro. You don't never let your mama carry no whole bunch of bags, bro. That ain't how we doing things. You open the door, you let her through first. You don't let
Mm-hmm.
her, you don't come in the house first. You let your mama come in the house first. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something I'm gonna keep draining into his head. I don't care what the world is doing, bro. Um, this is the way that it is. This is the way you stand out because, again, being respectful and being respectful to women, whether they young, your age, your peer group, or they're older, like grandma was. This is how you carry it. This is how it always been. And this is how it's gonna continue to be. It don't matter what everybody else is doing. Um, Anytime he leave the house without me and he's with his mama, I tell him, conduct yourself like a man at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I remind him that, I don't have to anymore, but I still do it. But yeah, man, I think that's what's lacking. Ain't nothing wrong with being independent. We get it. But at the same time, it ain't for us to change our ways because women want to be independent. We still got to go through the motions of what we know to be real and true, even if you do want to be independent. And then if you're independent, then that's just what that is. But it won't be because we're not trying. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so again, that trickles down to the lack of respect for, like we was talking about these shootings. I guess
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
the way you see people, how you don't see no difference between a man, a woman, or a child. Me myself, I'm not a violent person. I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to bring harm to anybody. but I will defend myself. But I'm not looking to kill nobody, end nobody life, put nobody in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't my vibration. I'd rather love you and be cool with you, or basically not say anything to you before I take it to that level. I really don't understand what's going on. That's why I choose my places of kicking it very wisely. I don't just, you know,
Yeah.
and it's hard. Um, shit. Hold on, Kinflow.
You good? Well, what?
All right.
You
Okay.
good? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. Uh. Yeah, man. I just think again, it's kind of like the boat is in the ocean and it's rocking. I just think that we gotta stay prayed up, and we gotta keep verbally teaching our young ones, and even the ones that's willing to listen. That's our age group. If they don't got that training, it's still your job to instill that. How you pull that young man to the side at the grocery store, I think that's commendable, because a lot of people will just walk past the situation and not say anything. So I think that's our job as stand up men, is to try to make an impact, however big or however small, whenever you can, with these youngsters, or younger kids. Or it's easier with younger kids because you got a lot of leeway to work with. But
Mm-hmm.
any situation, man, I think you always try to do what you feel is right. And I think that's where it starts. That's where it started to go wrong. Like we talked about before, back in our day, you get whoopings for the same thing 3 different times, right? You go to grandma's
Mm-hmm.
house, you've been messing up. Oh, you was doing that last week, getting a whooping. Go to your uncle's house. Oh, you was doing that last week. You done got whooped 3 times for the same thing by 3 different family members. But somewhere in there it changed from, oh, that motherfucker better not say nothing about my kid. You better not say nothing to my kid. And when that started happening, that took the village out of everything. And
Mm-hmm.
now everybody's just, it's the wild wild west. Nobody has respect. I mean, if you open a door for somebody, the doors that don't have automatic slides. But if you hold the door for, it's almost like people are shocked when you do it. I do it all the time. And they be like,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Yeah, like, yeah, it's automatic for me.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nothing I gotta think about. So
Right.
I think once we took the, it takes a tribe to raise a kid out of the equation, I think that's where everything started going wrong. Because now it's like most people don't know their neighbors.
Nope.
Most people don't have relationships with none of the kids in the neighborhood other than just they kids. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
you don't know all the different dynamics of who's the bully, who's a good kid. All you do is treat them all the same and say that ain't got nothing to do with me, and you just keep walking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like seeing a, and that's a difficult situation too. You see a woman getting beat up by a dude, that's a real tricky situation too. But when we talking about just general stuff like that, starting at the bottom level and showing respect, that's easy. That's an easy thing to fix. We don't need no congressman to pass no laws. We don't need no court orders to be nice and to give game to these youngsters on the fly, like you did it for the example in the grocery store. Man, that's something we
Mm-hmm.
can all do that can have a big impact on these kids. You
Now
know,
with the ending part to that story is when once we were in the grocery store, I did see him walking, and the grandson was, you know, putting things in the basket and pushing the basket around. The other part to consider or to even think about is the grandmother, that can be her exercise, and that is just something that she chooses to do when she is out and about for her own health benefits. That's her little workout or whatever the case is. And it's not to take away from that.
Keep going, cuz.
It's not to take away from that. It's just to let it be known that you're always in a teaching capacity to share what it is that you know for the younger generations and those of your own siblings or kids that you have underneath you. So it's always a teaching moment. And in a moment like that, me at the time looking at it, it just looked like, hey, you got a young kid right there, not even willing to help his grandmother. But as she told me, I'm independent. And as he said, she's independent and knew he knew the assignment evidently, and that is let his granny do what it is that she does. That's why she went and got the basket. My point to that whole thing was, are you showing him what it looks like in helping a young lady? He has to know how to treat his own wife. And if that's how he's going to do it, and that's just what it be, continue expecting to see the things that we're seeing now, as far as how the young generation is treating each other with no compassion, no concerns, just, hey, this is what I stand on, and you cross that boundary or whatever, you know how I'm gonna show up, you know what it's gonna be, all these kinds of things.
Right.
Behind something that's is it you have nothing more to represent yourself other than a word. You don't have a house. You're not doing the things. I'm not going to say you don't have a house. The things that you're fighting over has nothing to do with someone coming at you to say, I'm getting ready to take your house, I'm getting ready to take your money. Like,
Right.
They're robbing you. No, it's
Right.
not that. Only thing you're being on the majority of the time, it seems like you're just dealing with uh fighting over something that's not yours. The a turf, this our side, you can't come to this side, vice versa. Or you said this about my homie, and he's gone, and I'm gonna stand on him, gang, and all this kind of stuff. I get it. When I was young, hey, I was about respect and you know, ready to fight for just that. You're not gonna disrespect me. But as it's been said, sticks and stones don't. What is it? Sticks and stones may break your
Break
bones,
my
but
bones, but words could never hurt.
exactly. But evidently, that's not the case. Words hurt just as much as as sticks and stones. And then when you're ready to do something about it, you want to have a extra equalizer so that you're gonna win. But in all reality, you
You
don't
don't
win.
win. No, you
You
don't
don't
win.
win. You lose. You lose. You've lost your time. You've lost maybe a individual. You lost your job. You just lose in so many ways. You're not winning, and then you get tricked into thinking what's abnormal is normal. Oh yeah, me. Oh, yeah, I'm locked up and everything, but shoot, I'm good. I got rid of old boy. Yeah, you got rid of him, but look where you at. You're not enjoying it. You're not enjoying life for what it's supposed to be. And now you got to trick yourself into thinking, oh, well, I'll be good. I'll get out. But look, you're looking over your shoulder. You don't know if something gonna come to you, come at you, whatever.
Yeah, man.
It's intensified. It's intensified that much
It
more.
is.
So, yeah,
And let
that's
me
that.
tell you this, you cowards out there that like to kill little kids and mess with little kids, it's gonna be rough for you in that joint, man. You the lowest on the totem pole. I mean, you lower than a snitch in there. You go in
Mm,
there messing with kids, the real hitters gonna find out, and your time is gonna be terrible, terrible. So I'm just saying, man. I think that's why. Again, I think that's why we always respected the mobsters, right? The mob
mm,
movies. You watched a lot of mob movies, right?
yeah. Yep.
And again, I'm not condoning killing in no form or fashion, but at least on the mob movies, they killed who they was trying to kill, and they only killed that person. The wife could be right there next to the person, and they would blow his head off and walk off without touching the woman. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You
And
know,
with that, again, going back to that, what you can't see, but you understand. So in those kinds of movies, what they're portraying is that power and respect, right? And
mm-hmm,
with that respect, if you don't respect it, then the power is being shown through that force, that the killing and everything. It's hard to see how you can have that kind of power and respect without seeing that kind of trauma happen. Now, it it can be that way, because if you're raised up as a community, raising up and having it understood what it is when it comes to respect and discipline and things of that nature, it's easier to just stand. It's easier to just speak on something for it to get corrected than to have to put hands on and discipline in a manner where it gets tragic like that. But see, that's been thrown out the picture, and it's been thrown out the picture like that because the nation ain't set up like this. The nation is set up to get leverage, however, manipulate, however, and take control, however. And those are going to go into things that you really don't see, but it's right in your face. That's why I
right.
say the psychological uh, implementation to the community has been very effective over all this time. And yet we still don't recognize it as a whole and doing something about it. That's the sad part about it.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
so with that being said, uh, any last thoughts on our community and what we've been talking about?
Well, my closing thoughts is I'm gonna say this: no matter how bad it seems, it can always get better. Um, God is amazing. He can do amazing things. He can turn all this shit overnight, but it starts with us. It starts with us being the light, the change we want to see. I know you heard that before. It just starts with the little steps, little baby steps. First of all, we can't give up hope that the fact that we can change it. That's the first step. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all the shit I've been through, I'm sure all the shit you've been through, there's still that light that I feel like we can always make it better. So I would just say to the people, just keep your light. Don't let nobody dim your light. Keep doing what's right. When it comes to the community, you don't have to have a bunch of money. You just got to be kind, and you got to be understanding, and you got to have a little bit of knowledge and compassion for other people. Um, and I think in the end, it'll work out.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And with that being said, when it comes to, like you mentioned, having that light and everything, what about entertainment? What does entertainment do for you in bringing that light?
It
How does
dims it dims your light.
entertainment dims the light?
If you don't keep entertainment in its proper perspective, it would dim your light because
Yeah.
everybody that you looking up to or putting all this energy in, once you pay attention to entertainment long enough, you'll start finding out that them people are human just like you, and them people make mistakes and they do underhanded stuff just like you. I mean, everybody's seen the Diddy videos. Uh,
So that's good that you bring that up. That's a good segue into just the entertainment
uh,
industry itself. How do you feel about that?
I think it's good and bad. I think it's good because it allows people to be creative. I'm all about music and art and movies and writing. So it does allow for freedom of expression,
Mm-hmm.
but the bad side of it is the same thing in the streets. It's people in the entertainment industry with no integrity, with no moral compass. You don't get too many Denzel Washingtons that come along. You don't get too many Morgan Freemans that come along, uh, that just can skate through the entertainment industry without getting too much dirt on their name. Uh, like I said, it's a pro and a con to it, man. I'm all for expression and music and all the different art forms, but just like in any other kind of sector, there's a dark side to it as well. Um, and as well as the dark side, there's agendas being pushed as well. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
getting just. But now at the same time, the agendas is being pushed. There's also at the same time that's happening, there's many more outlets to get your entertainment. So you really have the benefit of picking and choosing what you want to consume. You don't
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be stuck like we coming up. It was 3 or 4 channels.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got a massive. You can customize your entertainment segment of your life, basically what you want
Wait
to
a minute.
ingest.
Wait a minute, Mo. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. 3 or 4 channels? Really? That's
Yeah,
all?
yeah, that's all.
3 or 4?
3 or 4. You had that local
Hey,
channel. You
yeah.
had CBS, which The Price is Right was coming on back then, and The Young and the Restless right after that. You got NBC and you got ABC. That was it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, you right, yeah.
HBO came along where you hit that separate box where
Mm-hmm.
you hit that switch and you could
Yep.
watch HBO. If you had a little money, your parents was in a good
Mm-hmm.
position. Other than that, that's it.
Yeah, that's facts. That's
so
facts. That's
so
facts. Yeah.
so now it's so much out there. It's better, but it's worse at the same time because it's more propaganda and it's more agendas being pushed.
Mm-hmm. So
So
tell me this then. With those things going on, do you think uh agendas being pushed when you see this beef thing going on with
most definitely,
rappers?
most definitely, like
What,
like
what kind
the
of what kind of agenda could be pushed from that though? What do you think?
well well anytime there's attention brung to something, that's money for advertisers and stream views and all of that. So attention is attention in the eyes of the people that make the most money from it. So whether it's good attention, which we know, if there's a video of you saving a dog, that could garner some attention. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's a video of you killing a dog, oh, we got something then. If you
Right.
just, you know what I'm saying, it hit different. It hit different. So
Yeah.
it hit
Yeah.
different. So when it
So
comes to
that,
this,
that key word is beef, huh?
so the rap beef, I mean, I don't really think it's a beef until somebody get hurt, because rap music, I mean, to segue into that, rap music has always been about competing with other rappers. It's
Mm-hmm.
just it's just are we gonna go all the way disrespectful, or are we gonna keep it in the studio? And the first instance of it getting disrespectful we seen was between Pac and Big, even though they necessarily didn't have nothing to do with each other's demise. It was everything else around it that came with that. So uh yeah, man, I think long as it's kept in the studio, it's fine. That's what rap music is. That's what hip hop is. It's
Mm-hmm.
competitive, but once you start getting in the street shit, then it's something else altogether. As you see all these young rappers getting killed because they on a whole different frequency with the disrespect. It's like
Yeah.
like uh I killed your homeboy. Now I'm smoking your homeboy in this cigar, nigga. I'm
Mm-hmm.
smoking on your homeboy right here. Like, man, it's like I don't know. I'm old school when it comes to that, so I don't really get that part. Cause yeah, but yeah, it's a good and a bad side to this entertainment stuff, man. You look at these movies, uh, yeah, it's it's definitely
You had a loss for words. You had a loss
yeah,
for
man,
words.
because I hate when I'm watching a movie and I'm just gonna talk in general, so we don't get in too much smoke for this. But I hate when I'm watching a movie and the storyline don't go with what I'm seeing on the screen. It's like they crowbarring and they putting certain aspects in to make me think that it's okay, but this don't got nothing to do with this. Y'all just put that shit in there, bro. That don't even go with my man's is a CIA operative.
Mm-hmm.
He's breaking into buildings, he's passing security alarms, he's going in there stealing documents. He done killed 16 people on the way in. He still ain't letting nobody hit the alarm. He get out safe and sound. He get home, open the door, and it's like, oh, it's a nigga in there cooking dinner for him. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. I didn't. I mean, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, who wrote this? Who wrote it? Who wrote it? Who wrote it, bro? And
Where does it fit into the whole?
thank God for the 10-second button. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for the 10-second button. I don't never watch too much stuff live. So
Mm-hmm.
my fingers are always on the 10-second button. But it's just like, if it's a natural progression, it's a way you can do that. But a lot of times you see this shit just thrown in there because it's like, oh, we got to have this represented. We got to have this represented in there. This got to be in there. And it's like, yeah,
Like,
I'm
where
cool.
did that come from? What
Yeah,
does
I'm
that have
cool
to do
on
with
that.
anything?
Could you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger killing all these people, right? Remember Red
Mm.
Dawn?
Right, right.
How different a movie would that be if what's that one girl, his love interest on that movie? The mixed
Sarah
looking
Connor?
chick? Nah, that's
No,
Terminator.
no,
I'm talking about
no. That's
Red
not right.
Dawn with she was like Filipino and black, the Chung. I forgot her name. I can't even think of
I
her name.
forgot. I don't know. I
But
don't
how
remember.
different would that be if it was Ted Brown or something? How different a movie would that have been, bro?
Uh, with the same amount of action and everything,
Yeah, everything.
the I think it's gonna soften up the movie a little bit.
Yeah, I think so
It's it's,
too.
it's not it's not going to bring the that the hardness and the
But
everything that was bringing. It's just gonna soften it up quite a bit.
but again, I'm like this. Everybody got their right to do what they do. I'm just joking on it a little bit. Have nothing against. It's just certain things need to stay in their lane, and I don't think they need to be trying to force people one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making sense? Like,
Oh yeah, you making sense. The
you know,
subliminal
yeah,
message that's being portrayed or
because
being put into it.
certain shows I can't even watch in my living room because my daughter is steady walking through the living room. So with certain shows, I gotta pre-watch them to see if that's even a show that I could put on in the living room because you don't want her to be walking through the same time as old boy getting home from killing all them people. Like I don't,
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of crazy, man. I think they're doing a better job of labeling these movies uh, to where you know what you're getting, but still got a long way to go.
So with that, is that not reality though? Is that possible? Or is it just being shown that hey, this is just the other part or the other aspect of the world that has not been shown, but this is actually the reality of what we really are in, and we want to put that into the movies? Or is
It's
it just an agenda to promote that lifestyle or
It's both.
adult play.
It's both. It is reality, but it's also a little bit of agenda because, like I said, I'm a storyteller and I'm a story writer. I can
Hmm.
tell. I can tell when things have been crowbarred in.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
So you know, if the story got a good progression, and then naturally, you could be like, "Oh, this is coming. I can see it coming. I can see it coming." That's one thing. But when it's just like, "Bam! How you like me now?" Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, whatever though, man. Like I said, there's so many options out there now. There's so many options. You get to pick and choose. You can pick and choose what you want to be in front of your face all the time. So
I don't I don't necessarily agree with that because even when you pick and choose what you want to have or want to enjoy, like you say, how you like me now? Where'd that come
10-second
from?
button. 10
Now,
second.
yeah, hey,
10
but
second.
still, the thing is, okay, I'm watching Animal Planet. Then all of a sudden, where this part jump in? What does that have to do with anything?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, man.
now, when it comes to it going into like that, I would definitely say it's a agenda being pushed. The others, it's a 50-50 chance of what a conspiracy could be or agenda being pushed, or it's just another view of what reality is. But the thing about that is, depending on the movie, especially like an action movie,
Mm-hmm.
like what you described,
Right.
you're not going to be expecting that part that you mentioned or wanting to see or know, even if it's reality, uh, the whole A to Z lifestyle of a CIA agent going
Right.
in and doing what he's doing or she's doing what she's doing, to that entirety in a 1.5 hour, 2 hour movie. Yeah. Oh no, I'm not coming to see
Right.
the whole lifestyle and everything. I'm coming to
Right.
see this action movie,
Right.
adventure, so on. Do the things that's gonna be happening in there, and yeah, well, okay, yeah.
See, and I think that's the thing too, with streaming and all of that. Um, People get to choose with their dollars and their eyeballs now. So they'll be able to see the analytics and add all that stuff up and pick and choose their spots as well when people start turning the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if people do turn the other way, um, going back to the rap music, it's the same thing. There's so much music out there. Uh, a lot of times, all we get is what they pushing on the radio. Where we got the two local stations in Dallas, 97.9, right? And you got
Mm-hmm.
105. So the other day, I'm listening to one song on the radio while we driving in the car. It went off. I turned it on the other station. It's the same song that just played on the other station. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that said, it's a lot of music that don't get pushed to the forefront, which is good rap music with a good message, good struggle vibes, whatever, good make you feel good. But that ain't always what they push out in front. So, you know, um, man, it's better, but it's getting worse, but it's better because you have so many options uh, to customize what you want to listen to. And we was talking about that beef, the beef with Drake and Kendrick Lamar going on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you heard about Rick Ross going to Canada. You heard about that?
Yep.
And you
He,
seen where he got jumped by,
mm-hmm. Some of
well,
his Drake's goons,
that's what they say.
supposedly. Yeah,
Yeah.
supposedly.
But
Now,
that was
hey,
supposedly connected to the Hells Angels motorcycle gang. It's like a sub division of that motorcycle gang,
mm-hmm.
which we know that's a white supremacist motorcycle gang. Now, even past all that, now what's finna happen? It's gonna get real now. Now this is where it gets real because Rick Ross was paid to do a show in Canada, played the
Mm-hmm.
song "Not Like Us" by Kendrick Lamar, and supposedly that was the reason for him getting jumped. So now you done created an atmosphere. Now that's what's up.
Mm.
Like I went to your home and some of my people got knotted up. So now the atmosphere is like, oh, okay. So that's what we doing now. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Right,
so
right,
that's what
right.
we doing now. So when you come
Mm-hmm.
my way, you better have all the security officers with you because it's gonna be some shit, and I'm calling it. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be some shit. It might not happen next week or the week after, but it's something's gonna pop off because of that. Like,
Now, I seen something this morning on YouTube where it was saying that
that's the
uh,
danger in that shit, man.
he's banned from Miami. Drake is banned from Miami. Whatever
See,
that's gonna mean.
and that could turn out either way. People say you banned from a certain place, but when you got money and shit like that, that money can buy you a lot of soldiers. And
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of crazy that, I'm not saying who's wrong or right, but it's kind of crazy that this is the bad part about entertainment, because that's the question you asked me earlier, right? This is the bad part. You got all this hoopla going on about this fucking rap shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it's time to stand on real issues, you don't hear nothing about nothing. Nobody's getting their soldiers together. Nobody's fighting for anything. It's quiet and it's crickets outside. That's the only bad
Exactly.
part. That's the only bad part about it, bro. When it's some bullshit, everybody's willing to go all in on some bullshit. When it's some real shit, you don't really hear from these fucking entertainers like that. When
Mm-hmm.
everybody want to chime in on the beef and all of that shit, that's the part I don't like about it. I
Yep.
do like the music that I got from this beef, but all the shit that come with it, I don't really care about it. I
Yeah.
don't, Uncle Luke, respect to Uncle Luke. He's the pioneer. When we was teenagers, that's who was out. 2 Live Crew, right? I'll give
Mm-hmm.
them pussy,
Yeah.
hey, all that shit. But you're speaking all this shit about this Canadian shit when you fucking got George Zimmerman living in Miami where he killed Trayvon Martin. Where was all the smoke? Where's all the smoke when shit
Mm.
happened in our community? Where's the goons at and all these niggas with Dracos and switches at when we being wronged in our own community? Where's
Well, you.
all where's all the tough niggas at that want to do all this righteous shit when innocent kids and women are getting murdered in our community?
Mm-hmm.
Where's all the smoke and all the blogs and all the niggas that want to see it's all about these clicks and shit, man? That's why I was telling you. It's all about these fucking clicks on this fucking internet. Nobody's when shit happen in our community, like innocent kids get killed, you don't hear none of these tough ass niggas talking about nothing.
Mm-mm. Nope. And you have me thinking now because, and what I'm thinking is this, and this going back to the community stuff. When you mention, where they at, where all these goons at when these things are happening? How come we not policing up our own and all these kinds of things, right? And it's hard to police up our own when our own should be the ones that are out there that's on that time, but they just ready to do it towards each other.
That's what the Crips and Bloods. That's what they was started as protection for the neighborhood. That's
But
what the Black Panthers started as protection for the neighborhood.
we got sold out. We got sold out.
It turned into something else. But I'm just saying, you got okay.
But you also said money, and that's why I say we were sold out. And when that was being developed and when that was prevalent, we were sold out amongst ourselves because the implementation of what the government was doing, CIA, those operatives,
COINTELPRO.
yes, what they were doing, they found those that, hey, look, I can get you out of the hood, keep you straight if you do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? And fade out the way. We just need you to get this started. And we're gonna fade you out. We're gonna get you out the picture and be done and continue on. So
Right.
we were standing strong, but when you already set back so far, they're gonna find one that's weak in the knees, so to speak, to help implement their own plan. And that person is not gonna be like, well, I stand strong on my community. You can get away with that. You can get away from me with that talk you talking. Or I'm gonna let the community know. But see, it don't go down like that because either they disappear all of a sudden or they buying into it. And we still fighting again,
Man,
fighting against everything that's set up for us to keep failing.
man, you mess with a kid or a woman back in the days in the 80s and shit, nigga, the whole neighborhood gonna be on your head, bro. Like
Yeah.
somebody gonna come see you, man, and that's the little stuff that I'm talking about. All it takes, but don't nobody know each other no more because, like we was talking about earlier, it's like don't say nothing to my child. You better not say nothing to my kid. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying, and all of that. That's where that tribe stuff is so important because you know everybody in that area and you have a general liking or respect for what's going on around you. But now with that piece missing, it makes it easier for this type of behavior, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm just talking about stuff that we can look at as far as being accountable to ourselves, not looking at the government because we already know that angle. But I'm just talking about things we can do uh, for ourselves, and that's part of the problem, man. The people that got the biggest microphones, it's sad to say, a lot of the times they not barking on issues they need to be barking on. They barking on issues that don't mean shit, to be honest with you. Just like this rap beef shit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this shit is so non-important. And let me be clear, I like Kendrick and I like Drake. I like them both equally. I hope that no harm comes to either one of them because they both make good music. So I'm not gonna be with the crowd of people and try to choose a side. I'm not choosing a side because I like both of them. I like Rick Ross music, and another thing for some of you fake ass, tough ass niggas out there, right? they wanna they wanna say Rick Ross was a CO, right?
Mm-hmm.
He worked so fucking what? I done seen CO bringing in marijuana, cigarettes, protein powder for the inmates to work out on and all type of shit. So until you figure out what kind of CO Rick Ross was, who gives a fuck? Because a lot of you niggas, y'all kick it with snitches, y'all kick it with child molesters, and niggas that
Mm-hmm.
beat up women, and you don't say a motherfucking thing. Sorry for cussing, but I don't really give a shit about that, bro. They
Yeah.
make good music, and that's like I tell my son, separate the artist from the music. Don't try to be the artist's friend because you don't really know the artist. You going off the music. Now the music matters, what kind of message you getting out the music, but you still got to separate the music from the man because
Mm-hmm.
it don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I hate to cuss like that, but it don't add up, bro.
It touched
It
the
don't.
nerve, huh?
It did. It do
Yeah.
touch a nerve, and I'm kind of toned down about it because I don't want to get all out of character. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just weak as fuck, bro. Like when some bullshit happen, oh everybody wanna rah 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 rah. But when some serious shit happen, everybody quiet as fuck.
They quiet and waiting for somebody to stand up and speak on something that
Nah, I'm not
or
doing
not.
it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what it comes.
I don't like my
That's what
bullshit.
it looks like. That's what it looks like where whoever's gonna jump in there and be the mouthpiece for the incident that didn't happen, let that be. But those that's uh behind closed doors or in the shadows, um, call themselves trying to do something or be a certain way because they hiding and not
Right.
wanting to get caught. But you at the same time, you're standing on something like you so can't be touched and you
Right.
Mr. Badass. But the minute you get caught and your those that you've been hanging with told on you, and now you in in an interrogating room and crying and, oh, I can't believe this, and now I'm finna do all this time, or what? Well,
Yep.
once I get back out, this and that and everything. Yeah, come on, it's too it's too late for all that. It's too late
Yeah,
for all
man.
that, man. Let entertainment be just what it is. Entertainment, laugh, have fun, good time. If it's this back and forth, or oh man, he dissed him, or okay, it's just going. You saying you sing or rap better than this person saying I sing or rap better than you. Now he didn't threw some family in there, or incident that you had in there,
Mm-hmm.
and really creative with how he's saying what he or she is saying about the situation and stuff, and getting the best of you. Now you're in your feelings. But see,
Yeah.
this is what you need to understand. If you go to a gun range throwing tennis balls when you're supposed to have bullets to shoot down range, your expectation right there already says you're not ready for this. You don't need to be in this. It's like if you in the streets and you think it's some rules in the street. It ain't no rules in the street.
Nope.
They just, you go by a set, you handle yourself a certain way according to what's presented. But at any time, rules change in the streets. At any time, your whole narrative can be a whole different situation. So
Mm-hmm.
when you get in them streets, if you're not prepared to be in them streets, because you think, well, shoot, I'm gonna roll this way and stay this way because that's how it is, or what I perceive it to be in the streets. And then when somebody come up to you and actually slap the crap out of you just because you look at them funny, when you
Right.
thinking, oh no, I'm good. Let's see what he gonna do. No, it don't work like that all the time.
Right.
Things change just with the flip of it, just as quick as you blink your eye. So if you get into something, be prepared to get in it for its totality and have the mindset that this is just part of the game. So
Mm-hmm.
all this, what the people saying beef, they need to understand this too about the internet. You got keywords, and beef is a key word to recognize it's a situation going on, to let you know it's tension, so on and so forth. So when someone is classifying or doing that clickbait thing, oh, such and such beefing and all this.
Right.
If you change it, the same, it could be butterflies, meaning a beef. Now everybody looking for, anytime you hear butterflies, you know it's a situation.
Right.
So now you trapped up, caught up in wordplay, and you're forgetting what you're in, and now you're going into a whole nother level of consciousness, or not even consciousness, but unaware of what you're putting yourself in behind some foolishness, because that's all. At the end of the day, you're using words to go back and forth on things. And from what I've seen between that particular beef, one side is one artist is just exposing
Mm-hmm.
how the other artist came about his own success, and using multiple uh lines, lyrics, and things from other people. He was just creative with it and chopped it up his own kind of way. That's what I got from that whole thing. And the thing is, okay, why are we riding so hard on people that are entertaining us as though they're going to come sit in our backyard and chill with us, when you didn't spend all this money for these tickets and stuff? It's entertainment. It's like
Mm-hmm.
like wrestling.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, yeah, man. You couldn't tell me about Iceman, King Parsons, and
Man. The
Ric
Iceman.
Flair,
Yeah.
the Von Erichs, the Iron Claw, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But if somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey, Ric Flair beat the shit out of Iceman," no, he won't. Yes, he will. I bet he will. I'll Iceman you, and now we fight for
That's
what?
what we watching right there.
Yeah,
WWE.
yeah,
But
exactly.
one caveat to that. See, the artist are the true WWE stars. But
Mm-hmm.
everybody around them are really in them streets, and that's when it can get dangerous and get ugly, man.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
a
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
general, a good general knows how to put his soldiers in position to where they can be in the least compromised position when it's war.
Facts.
A general don't lead his troops into a battle just because he think he can win. Like their life is just like throwaway lives. I mean, the best war is the war that you don't fight. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, I wish the whole situation the best. I wish a lot of you celebrities, you entertainers with big voices and a big following would use your voice for more pressing issues. But, who am I?
You the man. You big pound.
I am.
Big pound.
I
And
am.
with that, closing, hey, closing statements on that,
I am. Uh,
on the whole thing of entertainment, what we've been talking about. Any closing
man,
words on that you?
separate the man or the woman from the music, and just go by the feeling that the music gives you, and you should be okay. Uh, yeah, I'll leave it there.
I heard that, man. Because I just, entertainment is it's supposed to be, well, it's heartfelt in a lot of ways, and it gets emotional. The creativity that people put out and do, for others, it's all it's an emotional thing. So I get it, but like to your words of what you just said about the general and knowing how to navigate his soldiers, that's very important. And it's kind of like a quarterback on the team,
Hmm.
calling the plays. So with that, man, that's some good stuff and another
Oh,
good segment.
one last thing before we go. The
Mm-hmm.
the most honest sector of entertainers is comedians. When you see comedians, they the most honest. They make you laugh, but they are able to tell a lot of truth and make it where it's universally like palatable to the taste buds. Like so, I would shout out comedians because I think comedians are some of the most honest people.
Yes, I get facts on that
Yeah.
because they do have a way, a special and unique way of sharing some of their own truths or what they see as a truth and putting a twist on it to make you laugh or to just let you look at it in a different way to receive it with a smile on your face. So yeah, you're definitely right
Hmm.
on that, man. Can
That's
we do one more topic, and that's going into the sports. Can
all
we talk
right.
about sports?
Yeah, let's reset for a second. Hold on. Just for a
All right,
second. I ain't gonna play
all
the whole
right.
thing. Hey, yo, mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, and we're back. That boy over there trying to eat. Uh, and we're gonna move into some sports topics. A couple days ago, I want to say July the 3rd, Dallas Mavericks, my squad, we acquired Klay Thompson from the Golden State Warriors, one of the Splash Brothers. He will be a Dallas Maverick. Um, to me,
What? How long we have them?
he signed a 3-year deal for $50 million.
Damn, okay.
Um,
All right, nice.
so to me, that's gonna do a lot for Luka and Kyrie. So when they get
Mm-hmm.
into them lanes, you got a bona fide 3-point shooter that's known for knocking it down. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's my quick segment for that. I just wanted to say that. I'm glad we got him. I'm
Well,
glad we
hey,
got
take
him.
it. What do you think that's going to do for the team? Where?
It's gonna put
Because
us
I had
back
it
in
down.
the it's gonna put us back in position to be back in the finals.
Yeah. because I had a conversation with a coworker, and he was telling me we need a dedicated 3-point shooter.
Got him.
Yeah, with him. Now,
And a
what he
Hall of
was
Famer.
what he was telling me in his last season or whatever, when they went to the playoffs, he let down everybody because he was 1 for 11 or something of that nature, where he couldn't hit side of a barn, man. He's just off.
Listen to me.
Do you think he's on a? Is
Listen
that just a fluke situation, or he still got it?
Bro, he shoot over 40% for his career. He's allowed to have a bad season.
That's true.
He's coming off of 2 knee injuries that he fought through to get back to where he is now, but he ain't gonna have to do as much playing with Dallas. I mean,
I didn't know he had knee injuries like that.
Yeah,
that makes all the difference in your shot.
He got hurt. No, he got hurt in the finals. He got hurt and they won the finals 2 years later. He's won the finals since he been through them injuries. He's won so he's the second greatest shooter in history. Behind Steph Curry, when you look at the numbers, he's the second greatest shooter in history.
For 3-pointers?
Yes.
Oh, see, I don't know all the history on play like that, but okay. That makes a difference.
You got Kyrie, he can get into the lane whenever he want. Luka Doncic, he can get into the lane whenever he want. So once the defense start collapsing, you're going to have PJ on one side, you're going to have Clay on another side, or you're going to have Kyrie drifting back, or you're going to have Luka drifting back, depending on who's penetrating to the hole. So we just got one more. It's like we bought another AR. We got another AR.
I think we got rid of PJ.
PJ Washington?
Yeah, they traded him.
No, we got Derrick Jones is gone.
Oh, is it Derrick Jones?
Yeah, he went to the Clippers.
Okay. Oh, hey, and with that, having Lively and Gafford down in that paint.
Yeah.
That'll really keep them down in the paint, because you got, like you say, Clay out there shooting. And,
Kyrie can get it off. I mean, I think anyway, the West is tough anyway, bro. That's where all the good teams is at. Most of the good teams is in the West. So yeah.
Man, that's nice.
Other news, I want to speak on this real quick, and I really don't want to touch on it because this could probably go on for 30 minutes. LeBron James, my second favorite. LeBron James, my second favorite player in the world behind Michael Jordan. LeBron James is my guy. His son got drafted in the second round to play with his dad. Now, there's mixed reviews. Some people say he don't deserve it. His daddy got him on. And I think it's so sad, bro. When people where they always look like, even when there's a joyous occasion, when we seeing something monumental, there's always people that's going to tear it down on the other side. But I think it's so sad that we live in a world that's full of nepotism all around us. That all these corporations, these banks, these jobs, sectors that we don't know about. And I'm pretty sure if you do the research, you can see how many father-son combinations is in some of these corporations, and nobody ever questions it. You can look right down the street at Jerry World. Who he got in the press box with him? Who's the co-owner of the team? Who does the GM shit with him? His sons, right? So
yeah, but what is the problem with that?
Well, a lot of people saying that his son don't deserve this, and is better players, and I just think that's just so weak, man. I just think that's really weak. The boy been under the spotlight since he been in the 8th grade. He had a scare a couple years ago with a heart problem. He fought through that, went to college for 1 year, and then because he didn't get a lot of time to shine, and he only averaged 4 points and 5 rebounds and like 4 assists or 5 assists.
Yeah,
they discounting him because of the numbers, but I mean, a lot of people get drafted
What do
off
you,
potential.
but
Uh,
what do you have to focus on the numbers. That's what the Columbine is for, or when they go do their tryouts and things of that nature.
no,
Tell me
I
this.
don't. I'm not against them focusing on the numbers, but sometimes, like they say, sometimes it's about the eye test.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's bigger than the numbers. Sometimes it's the eye test. And to me, man, just seeing him play over these years, I think he's gonna be all right. I think he's gonna be good, man. I'm not just like saying it because it's LeBron's son, but I think, damn, man, just let the man live, bro. Just let him have his moment. Just all the damn hate and all the I don't know, man. I think it's a
hey,
beautiful thing that a man that was able to play as long as LeBron played basketball, still one of the best players in the game, is able to keep himself good until the time his son arrives. That's a monumental feat in itself, bro.
yeah,
He's
straight
playing
up.
with his dad. I mean, it's crazy, bro. So people could say fanboy or whatever. I ain't a fanboy like that because I don't even like the Lakers. I just like LeBron
But the hate though, now
because
the
they
the hate,
feel
they feel that that
Le-
okay. So he has daddy privilege.
they feel like LeBron controls the Lakers.
Do you think he doesn't?
I believe he does, but I
100%.
also but I also believe he's the only reason the Lakers are relevant
Yeah, but
at
so
this
this
point
the
in
thing.
time.
Now let's go to the Mannings. You got Mannings. They they fathers was in the NFL. He's they made it to the NFL. Do you think he had any kind of influence on that? I
Yeah,
think he
because
did.
he told San Diego, "Don't draft my son because we're not going there," and that's when San Diego did their trade with New
Hmm.
York to do that trade. So Eli Manning would go to New York instead of San Diego because his daddy said, "Don't draft my son because he's not going there."
Yeah.
So I mean, LeBron ain't the only one that pulled power moves like that, and
Not at all.
it's just sad to see that. It's like piranhas, man. The piranha don't know what bloody meat is going into the water. They just know it's blood, and they need to start chomping, man. It's kind of like that, bro.
Yeah.
They just gotta do that, man. It's
So
kind of
a knee jerk reaction.
yeah, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a few people saying good things, but mostly, man, I just see a lot of hate, a lot of speculation, and like
Well, when I
his son didn't put in the work. His
mm,
son put the work in, bro.
he put the work in and put himself in position and everything, but
And his daddy put the work in to put himself in position to be able to even help his son.
or to even play with him, yeah. I mean, of course, hands down, man. It's a great thing to do what it is that he's doing and see his son play. Now, if you want to have a conversation about it, showing some favoritism, or say you're a parent that has a kid that's went up with him, um, same ethics and everything, and clearly your son is shown to be better and it's known to be better, but yet didn't get that opportunity due to the fact of someone in his position filling that slot, would you be upset?
No, at this point in time of my life, knowing America, how this workplace shit go, no, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't be
be
upset.
I wouldn't be
you watch
upset.
your you watching your son put in all that work and knowing he's better than that particular person, and when it comes to both of them at the door of next level, he gets turned away because of privilege. You wouldn't be upset.
No,
I'd be upset.
you can't be
I,
upset
I I
because
would be upset, but then at the same,
you
I
know why?
understand.
You know why? Because first of all, Bronny got drafted in the second round, the 55, the 55th pick, right?
Yep.
So that means It's just like in a sports game, what the coach say or what they say in basketball. Don't leave it up to the referees. Don't make it close.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't make it close, the referees wouldn't have a chance to mess you over.
Everybody,
You gotta be undeniable.
of course.
Uh,
But see, that comes from. Well, I ain't gonna say it comes
and bro,
from.
we and bro, we
I'm
and
just
bro,
saying,
we
even at
both
his second 55,
right.
all that. Well, again, this conversation's still the same. That person, he got picked 55th,
Well,
and
we both know. We both know whether it be football or basketball, they don't always pick the best talent.
no, they don't. They don't.
We both know that, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's sometimes it's about culture, your mindset, if the person likes you or not, if you said the answers to the test that they wanted to hear. How many
Mm-hmm.
times you hear this? It was a bunch of people better than Michael Jordan in the hood. What they
Mm-hmm.
got to do with the price of tea in China, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're right. You're right.
I mean,
I
so to me, the reason why I would say I wouldn't be mad is because it's hardly a situation where a player gets to grab his son by the hand and pull him up like that. So this would be the exception to the rule. This don't
mm-hmm.
happen. This don't happen every day. Um, Regardless of who got left out, I'm sure it's people that didn't get drafted at all that could have been picked 56 after Bronny James that didn't get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
It always comes down to if they like you or not, or if you know what I'm saying. Like
Something's gonna play a part in it.
it's
Something's
not
going to
just
play a part.
it's not just the talent, bro. It's not. If it was just straight talent, then you wouldn't get all these overseas players that's getting drafted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they are bypassing American players to go get overseas players. And you could easily scrutinize that, but you can't because each team in itself is a corporation and they they list of guidelines of what they want to see in their franchise and invest their money into. Even if you say
Yeah. It's a
even if,
power play.
even
It's
if
a
you
power
say
play.
even if you say Bronny James ain't good, right? What are the pros and the cons to bringing Bronny James to this team?
Oh, it's a lot
All,
of pros.
yeah, so that's where I was going with it. Now, just off of that alone, you could just say, "Oh, it was a business move,"
Mm-hmm.
because you know
Yeah.
you're gonna get sellout crowds. Everybody
Just
gonna
to
want to
see it.
see it just off of
Mm-hmm.
that. So we know both. It's not always. That's why you can get To going from 49ers to the Eagles, going through all he went through, and end up coming to the Cowboys. You don't think Jerry Jones know? Oh, this gonna add that electricity to the stadium right here. They
Mm-hmm.
look at all of that type of stuff, man. So I just don't like the fact that this type of stuff we never in position to see this type of stuff. And now
Mm-hmm.
that we are, they was trying to make a big deal out of it. And you know, it is a big deal, but not in the way that they're talking about it. It's a big deal because the work that his father put in, he was able to break down that wall. And regardless of who feel whatever way about it, he was able to pull his son up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's going to be crazy is if LeBron is able to play another 2 years and pull his other son in the NBA, that'll
He
be
has.
so. He got
How
another
old is his
son.
other son?
His other son is going to be a
They
sophomore this year.
they're about 2 years
2 years
apart.
apart. Yeah.
Oh,
His
yeah,
other son
that'd
name
be
is Bryce.
crazy.
Yeah, but you know his other son a little taller than Bronny. He
Mm-hmm.
like 6'4" already.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
that would be crazy.
I'm just saying it for the culture, man. I think it's dope for people to see that LeBron is still with his high school sweetheart. You know,
Mm-hmm.
his
Yeah.
family is still intact. So in one way, you know, that don't got nothing to do with sports. I just think that people deserve to see that shit, man. You know, to see what that look like, a daddy and son playing. I mean, we see all the rest of this BS that we look at all the time. You know what I'm saying? Why not see something that's positive like that? That's
Mm-hmm.
nothing but positive for kids to see. You know what I'm saying? So I just like it in that way, bro. I don't really care about, you know, his stats and all of that shit. I just like the fact that LeBron was able to have some kind of power to pull his son up, whether people think he deserves it or not. I think that's a beautiful thing. I really do. One of the most historical franchises. He ain't doing this with the Timberwolves or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
one of these teams that ain't got no championship lineage history. He doing it with one of the greatest franchises in sports with the Lakers. He's able
Yeah.
to make power moves like that. So I salute it, man.
No, I thought, after bringing that up, I think I definitely would salute that
Yeah.
100% because that I wasn't seeing it in that way as the impact of being able to see that, or kids to see that and know that, like those things you just brought up. He's been with his high school sweetheart all this time. They haven't been broken up. Got his kids. He has that enough influence to get his son there.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if you like it or don't, the thing is that kind of stuff happens all the time in other communities.
Yeah.
So now to see it like that, going back to
Yeah.
what we were talking about initially in the beginning of the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I would have to take back some of the things I said initially.
It's all good, bro. I mean, we just chopping
Well,
up
I
game.
mean, well, I'm just saying because to, like I say, have that status and not do nothing with it. Well, I believe, yeah, you definitely have to start with family first. And that's a big indication of that. And standing on the fact that you just one woman, got your kids, been keeping the family together all this time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really in no entanglement situation, or uh, your family was the front runner of what a family looks like, and then come to find out it was so much mess behind it. Now that's the part I don't,
Right.
and that's probably why you don't even really know that much into his family like that, because they don't project themselves out there to be so transparent with the world. Not that I know of, because if
Well,
it was,
they actually do.
oh, do they?
Yeah, I mean, he's always like he'll be in the driveway with his son shooting hoops. His son might be streaming it. His other son might be streaming it. Sometimes he
Oh, okay.
put the camera on Taco Tuesdays and all of that. Now he's kind of.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I
But
don't.
not like that red table talk stuff
No,
though.
not that type of
Uh,
stuff.
yeah,
Not
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
But
So
yeah, man. On to this last, bro. I'm not sure if this shit gonna cut off at 2 hours or not. But let's get into this other story. So we
I'm
got we got Malik Hooker talking about contracts for the Dallas Cowboys, and
mm-hmm.
and I'm just paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly. Who should get paid first out of CD Lamb, Dak, and Parsons? And
Right.
he says Lamb because of everything he does for offense. Now he has a right to his opinion. I'm gonna give my spiel real quick. I mean, but
Yeah, go ahead.
one thing you should never do is answer a question about another man's money when y'all in that business and y'all know how tough that is. But I say Parsons should get paid. It got to be Parsons or Dak because Lamb depends on Dak to get him the ball. Parsons depends on his own athletic ability to get to the quarterback. Me myself, I'm paying Parsons, Dak, then Lamb. What do you say?
I'm saying I think I agree with you on that, because at first I was kind of on the fence of Parsons and Lamb, but Dak definitely needs to get his. Um, Parsons, yes. Lamb, yes, but in that order, like what you were saying, just because without Dak or Parsons, Lamb don't get to shine as much as he has been able to shine. You know, he's not on without Parsons. If the defense can get off the field, that's more time for the offense. That's more time that Dak and Lamb can connect. So yeah, I definitely I agree with you on that one. And when you talk about all that, what you was just mentioning about the Lakers with the hate that was going on, and then rolling over into hateration land with the Cowboys, because they always hated on. And I mean, this conversation we have here, this is probably something that really ain't gonna be that big of a deal because it's just so much hate on.
Let me ask you a question.
You're gonna hear hate about Dak even getting signed.
Let me ask you a question.
Straight up.
It was. I won't say it was just two, because now I gotta say three, and I'm probably missing another one. We talking about late '80s, early '90s. You had two dominant pass rushers. You had Lawrence Taylor. He was a whole defense in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree? You had Derek Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Reggie White.
Yep.
Do you not agree that Michael Parsons fits into the same mold as those three players when it comes to being a one-man wrecking show that you have to game plan for all the way around and know where he's at all times if you're going to protect your quarterback?
Oh, 100%.
And that's 100%. why I believe he needs to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
You can't play around with players like this, man. There's not a lot of Michael Parsons out there, bro.
No, playing multiple roles.
Yeah, you don't get them. You got to take care of him long term. I believe they will. I believe they'll take care of Dak. I don't know why they playing with it, but I know you only can do so much with the salary cap. And I think Lamb needs to get paid because he proved to me that he's one of them guys. So, like we was talking about off camera, maybe y'all fellas need to get together with the owner, kind of restructure y'all asking numbers and put it on the back end and incentives or something to where y'all all can get y'all money. I don't know how realistic that is, but that's just wishful cowboy thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So at this point, do you think CeeDee Lamb is going to bounce?
I would hope not.
How long you think he's going to hold out?
Man, first of all, I want to say, why is it always the fucking receivers, bro?
It's
always
the running backs and the receivers. It's the running backs and the receivers.
Well, the running backs got a more case to be like that because they taking real punishment. The receivers might have to deal with. The receivers might have to deal with maybe going over the middle. You know what I'm saying? But the running backs got to get through all three levels.
And their time in the game is a lot less than the receiver.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right.
But I hope that he gets his money, man.
Hey, it might be like that because they're the last ones looked at. Maybe that's the reason. They're the last ones on the totem pole.
No,
but what kind of money you see him getting? What kind of money you think he's gonna get?
Man, I don't know. See what he's looking for. If you look at some of the other receivers in the league, Justin Jefferson over $200 million. If he's looking for something like that, man, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't want to.
How much did Justin Jefferson get?
Oh, let me look that up real quick. Just give me a second.
Justin. $200 million. $200 million?
Let me see. I don't want to. Nah, he got 4 years, 140. So with that being the baseline, 4 years, 140, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
He should get somewhere around there. Which that comes out at $35 million a year.
I can see him getting 25.
Yeah, I hope he's cool with it.
I can see him getting 25.
And then you look at the quarterback. They just paid what's old boy from Jacksonville? I can't even think his
Oh,
name.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Was it
Mm-hmm.
5 years, 275,
200
200
games. Yeah,
guaranteed?
yeah. So now, what is that with what does that break down a year?
And 5 year, 275, including a $37 million signing bonus, $200 million guaranteed. So that means he really only playing for 40 more million. That's all he got to play for.
So he basically like at 55. Well, so Dak. So this is the thing, and I seen it because that's for 55 million.
Bro, did you hear what I
a year.
said?
Yeah, I'm
What
just going off the
no,
275 and
he got to
with
sign
5 years.
he
He
got to
got a
sign
signing
him
bonus
for
of 37.
37. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he got 200 guaranteed. So that's 237 that's already in the bank. You can't take it away. I can blow my knee out tomorrow and I'm still getting 237.
Mm.
He only playing for 40 at
Yeah.
this point.
Okay. Ooh. That don't. All those numbers is wicked, man. So Dak, this last year of his contract is 60 million.
53, I think. 53 and some
Oh, is it
change.
53? Is it 53? Yeah, you're right. It is 53. I think they're trying to push for him to get a contract worth 60 million.
Yeah. Mm.
So he can get 1 year 60 million, or he's not gonna do that. He's he's looking at longevity. So probably 3-4 years, whatever that's going to be, to where it's going to be at least 55 million.
We're going to have to come back and deep dive into this shit.
Yeah. So that's sick in itself. I see probably 4 years, and at least 55. Gotta be.
Man.
Sign it. And I don't even know where all this money gonna come from.
Jerry got it.
Yeah, I mean they can take another cap hit. They're gonna have to keep all three of them.
Man,
CD, if he asks for anything over 25, they probably gonna say sayonara.
You think they would do that? You think they would do it?
Yeah. That's the thing. Look, okay, CD had 1,700 plus yards for the season.
Right.
He had 9 touchdowns. How many touchdowns did he have?
I don't even know.
I think it was I don't even know if it was in double digits, as many touchdowns. So if he only had, if it's not even in double digits, because I'm thinking I seen number 9. Either it couldn't have been 29. It couldn't have been 29.
He had 12 touchdowns.
Okay, 12 touchdowns. 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. 17 games.
135 receptions.
Yes. Now that's some good numbers, as far as you almost had to use up there, about to reach 2,000 yards at maybe some point, but you got 1,700. That's cool. But just 12 touchdowns. How many touchdowns did Jefferson have?
I don't even know. I think he was hurt a lot last year, though. He was hurt. So his stats probably ain't. Let's see. Justin. Yeah, he was hurt because he only got 68 receptions.
Oh, half the amount, basically.
A little bit over 1,000 yards and 5 TDs.
Mm.
But the year before that, he had 128 receptions, 1,800 yards, and he only had 8 touchdowns.
Okay, so
his highest year was 10 touchdowns.
Okay, well, let me back up, because I'm thinking, okay, you got that. Huh. Well, he's going to have I see why he's holding out. Because if you're looking at the top receiver, because Jefferson was considered top receiver, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And your numbers, even in his best season or the previous season, he had 1,800, almost about the same amount of receptions, but he had less touchdowns. So yeah, he might ask for about 27.
And then the other receiver that's considered one of the best is Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Adams also signed a contract in March 22, 5 years, 140. So that seems like that's the baseline right there.
Yeah.
5 years, 140.
I think they'll probably, whatever the tenure Dak gets, they're going to keep CeeDee Lamb on that, and then try to restructure his contract when they get rid of Dak.
Damn, stop saying that, bro.
I think they're going to do it.
You think they're going to get rid of him?
Yeah.
Damn.
Now he's going. Dak is on the same path as Tony Romo.
Bro, we only got this year. We only got $12 million in cap space. Next year, this coming up year, we'll have in 25, we'll have 64 in cap space.
Mm-hmm.
But that's without Dak. You still got Martin that need to be paid. DeMarcus Lawrence. Who else is void on here?
I thought DeMarcus Lawrence already got his contract.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. But next year they have a little more room, but that's before you offer Dak his money.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb. I don't even see him. I just seen it a while ago.
Well, after putting up those numbers or sharing those numbers between those other receivers, yeah, I understand why he's holding out, and he has a legitimate reason to say, "Hey, pay me. You have 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns, and that's more than the number one receiver."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can see him getting 27.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I was trying to see how many years he had left on that. I forgot about Trayvon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
That shit coming up too. Next
Now,
year.
how many those contracts were 4-year contracts or 5-year contracts?
For who?
Jefferson.
Yeah, that was 4 years.
That was 4 years.
Yeah. And what happened to my camera?
What do you mean? Is it glitching?
Shit just went off. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, something happening.
So with that 5-year 140, that's like 28 million a year.
Oh, there we go.
So he's definitely gonna be asking for at least that, if not more.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
That's gonna be
a tough task, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the problem with drafting good. All these draft picks was good. These were good draft picks. Now that we didn't get nothing out of them yet, and now it's time to re-up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's
time to re-up.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna hold my breath though. I ain't gonna start carrying until I see a first playoff win. You ain't tricking me. You ain't tricking me this time, no matter what.
No, sir. No, sir.
1995, buddy. Just graduated, buddy. That's the last time we seen some glory.
The last time.
Yeah.
Waiting to see some glory for a long time.
Yeah,
So,
man. Let's get back on track though.
Well, it's time about to put
I know.
put a bow on it.
Yeah, put a bow on it. That's what I mean. Back on track.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We wanted to end the show with some sports because we know the beginning of this episode was kind of heavy, right? So we
Mhm.
like to end on a light note. So that's why we went with sports last. But anything you want to say to the people before we get up
Man,
out of here?
I just want to say that I'm glad that I was able to wake up and be blessed to see another day, to share this time and moment with you and our fans, and to just get things off our chest and
Yeah,
have a good time and dialogue, and hopefully, prayerfully, those that do watch our show and get a chance to take something from it, it takes them in a different way or it gives them a different perspective on how to look at some things that we've spoken on, and check back in with us, because we're always going to be coming with something.
Indeed. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Do us a solid, share, like. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. Go to the podcast, listen to the podcast, go sign up on www.thekinflowpodcast.com. Put your email in there and we'll send you a message. You can get on the email list. So when we start sending out all of this different information and coupon codes for merch, y'all can be on that list. I thank my cousin for waking me up this morning, getting me to shave, and so I could get on here. You know, I hope everybody have a good weekend and be safe. No drinking and driving. If you want to drink, get you a designated driver. We're going to holler at y'all on the backside. We out.
Hey. Yo. Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Kinflow Podcast. Yeah. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Yeah. Keep your head up. Hey. Keep your head up. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Yeah. Every day when I awaken, ask God give me strength